Hi class, welcome back. We're still in week 1 and now we're into lesson 1.3 where we're going to be talking about the wide world of biomimetic design. So in lesson 1.2 we talked about what is biomimetic design, and we started out with a simple definition talking about bio meaning living things, mimic referring to emulation, and design being your plan. So biomimetic design is all about creating a design based on emulating living things. So those are just two simple words, but when you dive into the wide world of biomimetic design, you'll find all kinds of words out there. So we have some of the words that we're talking about: biomimetics, biomimicry, and design. But you'll also find this one group emphasizing nature or green design, another one really talking about innovation. Some folks out there focus on engineering and the realization of design, or just really focusing on the conceptual design. Others take it all the way to commercialization, and people focus on creativity or sustainability. So what I want to talk about in the next few minutes is just this wide world of terms out there to kind of help you sift through what we're talking about in terms of biomimetic design in this class and what you're going to encounter when you dive into that world. Okay, so we talked about design as a noun being a plan or a drawing produced to show the look and the function or workings of a building, garment, or other object before it is built or made. Okay, so different people have different definitions of design, but what we're talking about is that the design is the plan. That's in contrast to innovation, as in the noun form of that word, which innovation refers to something really new. I suppose you could design something that's not particularly new, but innovation always refers to something very new or novel, a method, an idea, or a product. Okay? So when you're talking about innovation versus design, design is the plan and innovation is the product. Again, people will argue these terms, but this is kind of how I'm trying to scope it out for this class. If you look at it in the process of design, you go from, those of you in design or innovation know this whole process. You go from research to conceptual design to the design itself, development, design documentation, prototyping, engineering, production, manufacturing, marketing, commercialization. So there's many steps in here, and different people define it differently. But for the purposes of this class, when we're talking about design, we're really talking about this front end that ends in design, or that plan. Innovation takes it farther, gets into the actual product leading into or including commercialization. The reason why I really want to make that that distinction, and again, it's not, I don't care about particular definitions, but I do want to help you when you start to dive into this. Many of you have been introduced to biomimicry from the Biomimicry Institute, or what's now called Biomimicry 3.8, and it's all based on Janine Benyus's book, Biomimicry: Innovation Inspired by Nature. Okay, so this book, some teeny tiny letters here, but it's Innovation Inspired by Nature, but arguably it should be called Design Inspired by Nature, because it tends not to go all the way through, at least in practice, to the innovation and commercialization. So when you're exposed to biomimicry from this end of the spectrum, or this group, you'll get a lot of emphasis on nature, being out in nature, how to observe nature, and we'll be doing a lot of that in this class. And then you end up with a design. Okay, so you end up with something basically on a piece of paper. Okay, you could also do a prototype. So with biomimicry, you go from inspiration, of course, inspiration from nature, ideation, conceptualization, and design. And the focus is on sustainable design. When you get into biomimetics, or that kind of cluster of terms, you have the same inspiration coming from something in biology, less emphasis on nature and more just on pure biology. Again, ideation, conceptualization, design. And then you get into innovation and realization. You're actually making things. And then the drive is towards commercialization. So I've worked for both of these groups. I I worked for here when it was still the Biomimicry Institute, and I still work with Swedish Biomimetics. Swedish Biomimetics is about this sort of a thing. So you end up with machines that actually do things, and then a huge focus on how you take these technologies and commercialize them. So I just wanted to make sure you understand a little bit about the spectrum of the term biomimetic design, and there's great arguments raging out in the world, if you happen to participate in them, about what those terms mean. So just kind of in summary, biomimicry versus biomimetics, and I will tell you this is my opinion based on my experience, okay? So other people will argue with me on this, but biomimicry is more about the inspiration. It's about connecting with nature with a focus on generating sustainable design, again, the plan. Biomimetics is much more about innovation, the realization of, in other words, making something. It's really a focus on higher performance and on commercialization. So that's, again, my opinion, but I think in the spectrum of things, it's important to keep those terms in mind. So in lesson 1.3, you're gonna be exposed to what I'm calling the wild world of biomimetics. You'll look at chapter 1 from Biomimicry, Innovation Inspired by Nature. That's not a required book for this course, although many people would recommend you read that. It's so you're gonna look at chapter 1 for really the inspiration part of it. I'm going to have you read part of this book, Cat's Paws and Catapults by Steve Vogel. He is very much about the engineering side, the mechanical side of things, and he does a really great job of explaining some of those things. And if you haven't been exposed to engineering before, it's a great way to get to know engineering. He's also a huge skeptic of biomimicry, because the people on the more mechanical side tend to think that people on the biomimicry side are all about just tree hugging and not about real engineering, and they think that the people in biomimicry are all about the dogma and kind of like almost a religious following. So you'll get the kind of contrasting views. The people in biomimicry don't think that these people are inappropriate at all, except that again, biomimicry's the end goal is truly sustainable design, whereas the people in biomimetics and bionics and biomechanics are more about just the high performance. Then you'll get a visit from, well, not a visit from, but you get to read from a writing from Jeremy Faludi, who also teaches for MCADs, and some of you may have taken his class. He provides a really nice balanced approach in biomimicry's place in green design. And then you read a piece from BCI, which is my group, and looking at ecological thinking for radical transformation of businesses and organizations, so how you can apply all these concepts to business organizational structures and practices. And then you're going to look at the potential, the economic potential of biomimicry in a report that the San Diego Zoo commissioned. Okay, so I hope that gives you some little perspective on the wide world of biomimetic design and where we fit into it. So when we talk about biomimetic design in this course, we're really about design. We're not about innovation or manufacturing. So we're going to go through basically the biomimicry process, the one that you'd get if you went to the Biomimicry Institute or Biomimicry 3.8, and we're going to end with design, so more of a conceptual design. We don't take it through innovation or commercialization. So to help you sort through this, I'm going to have you take this wide world of biomimetic design terms and sort them out. And in your assignment 1.3, you're going to create a wide world of biomimetic design presentation. And you'll get instructions in 1.3. And what you'll end up with is either some kind of an essay with or without graphics, or a presentation, even a little film clip, if that's how you operate. Whatever works for you. So you're going to give it a go and help sort out what this means as if you're explaining it to a lay audience. So I hope you have fun with that, and I will see you in the next video.